Alright guys, welcome to Alright guys and girls, welcome to my YouTube channel, A Boy Vinri, and I'm your host, Just a Boy. And today we're gonna be continuing the reading of The Crawl Prince, started from chapter 4. Right? If you like this video I'm about to if you like my reading of it, if you like this audiobook, if you like my voice acting, am I really voice acting though? My narration is pretty much if you like me reading you a bedtime story basically. Please like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Alright, let's get into the book. As dawn breaks, I open the windows to my bedroom and let the last of the cool night air flow in. As I strip off my court dress, I feel hot all over. My skin feels too tight and my heart won't stop racing. I've been to court before many times. I've been witness to many awfulness. I've been witness to more awfulness than wings being torn or my person insulted. Fairies make up for their inability to lie with a panoply of deceptions and cruelty. Twisted words, pranks, omission, riddles, scandals, not to mention their revenge of one another for ancient, half-remembered slight. Storms are less fickle than they are, seas less capricious. Like, for example, as a redcap, Madoc needs bloodshed the way a mermaid needs the salt spray of the sea. After every battle, he literally dips his hood into the blood of his enemies. I've seen the hood, kept under glass, and the armory. The fabric is stiff and stained, the brown so deep it's almost black, except for a few smears of green. Sometimes I go down and I stare at it, trying to see my parent in the tired lines of dried blood. I want to feel something besides a vague queasiness. I want to feel more, but every time I look at it, I feel less. I think about going to the armory now, but I don't. I stand in front of my window and I imagine myself a fearless knight. Imagine myself a witch who hid her heart in her fingers and then chopped the finger off. I'm so tired, I say out loud, so tired. I sit there for a long time, watching the rising sun gild the sky, listening to the waves crash as its side goes out. When a creature flies up to a light on the edge of my window. At first it seems like an owl, but it's got hub eyes. Tired of what, sweetmeat? It asks me. I sigh and answer honestly for once, of being powerless. The hub studies my face, then flies off into the night. I sleep the day away and wake disoriented, battling my way out of a long embroidered curtain around my bed. Drool has dried along one of my cheeks. I find bath water waiting for me, but it's gone tepid. Servant must have come and gone. I climb in anywhere and splash my face. Living in Fairy, it's impossible not to notice that everyone else smells like verbena or crushed pineapples, dried blood or milkweed. I smell like pit sweat and sour breath unless I scrub myself clean. When Tatterfeld comes in to light the lamp, she finds me dressing for a lecture, which begins in the late afternoons and stretches on into some evening. I wear grey leather boots and tunic with Madoc's crest, a dagger crescent moon turned on its side, so it rests like a cup, and a single drop of blood falling from one corner embroidered into silk thread. Downstairs I find Taryn at the banquet table alone, nursing a cup of nettle tea and picking at a bannock. Today she does not suggest anything will be fun. Madoc insists perhaps out of guilt or shame that we be treated like the children of Fairy, that we take the same lessons that we'll be given whatever they have. Changelings have been brought to the High Court before, but none of them have been raised like a gentry. He doesn't understand how much that makes them loathe us. Not that I'm not grateful, I like the lessons. Answering the lectures cleverly is something no one can take from me. Even if the lecturers themselves occasionally pretend otherwise, I would take a frustrated nod in place of effusive praise. I would take it and be glad because it means I can belong whether they like it or not. Vivi used to go with us, but then she became bored and didn't bother. Madoc raged, but since his approval of a thing only makes her despise it, all his reading just made her more determined to never ever go back. She tried to persuade us to stay home with her, but if Tyron and I cannot manage the machinations of the children of Fairy without quitting our lessons or running to Madoc, how will he ever believe we can manage the courts? where those same machinations will play out on a grander and more deadly scale. Tyrion and I set off swinging our baskets. We don't have to leave Innsmouth to get to the High King's Palace, but we do skirt the edge of two other tiny islands, Eastmoor, Isle of the Stone, and Innswell, Isle of Woe. All three are connected by half-submerged rocky pads and stones large enough that it's possible to leap your way from one to the next. A herd of stags is swimming towards Innsmouth, taking the best grazing. Tyrion and I walk past the Lake of Mask and through the far corner of the Milkwood, picking our way past the pale, silver trunks and bleached leaves. From there we spot mermaids and merrows sunning themselves near craggy caves, their scales reflecting the amber glow of the late afternoon sun. All the children of the gentry, regardless of age, are taught by lecturers from all over the kingdom on the grounds of the palace. Some afternoons we sit in the grooves, carpeted with emerald moss, and other evenings we spend in high towers or up in trees. We learn about the movement of constellations in the sky, the medicinal and magical properties of herbs, the languages of birds and flowers and people, as well as the languages of the folk. Though it occasionally twists in my mouth, the composition of riddles and how to walk soft over leaves and brambles, so leave neither trace nor sound. We're instructed in the final point of the harp on the lute, the bow and the blade, and Tyrion and I watch them as they practice enchantment. For a break we all play at war in a green field, with a broad arc of trees. Murdoch trained me to be formidable, even with a wooden sword. Tyrion isn't bad either, even though she doesn't bother practicing anymore. At the summer tournament in only a few days, our mock war will take place in front of the royal family. With Murdoch's endorsement, one of the princes or princesses might choose to grant me knighthood and take me into the personal guard. To be a kind of power, a kind of protection, and with it I could protect Tyrion too. We arrive at school. Prince Caden, Locke, Valerian, and Nicasia are all already sprawled in the grass. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this name right. They all sound Locke, Valerian, and Nicasia are already sprawled in the grass with a few other fairies. A girl with their horns, Posey, is giggling over something Caden has said. They did not so much as look at us as we spread our blanket and set our notebooks and pens and pots of ink. My relief is immense. Our lesson involves the history of the delicately negotiated peace between Ola, Queen of the Undersea, and the various fairy kings and queens of the land. Nicasia is Ola's daughter and sent to be fostered in the High King's court. Many odes have been composed to Queen Ola's beauty, although if she's anything like her daughter, not to her personality. Nicasia gloats. Nicasia gloats through the lessons, proud of her heritage. When the instructor moves on to Lord Ryburn of the Court of Tiamat, I lose interest. My thoughts drift. Instead, I find myself thinking through combinations. Strike, thrust, parry, block. I grip my pen as though it were the hilt of a blade and forget to take notes. As the sun dips low in the sky, Tyrion and I unpack our baskets from home, which contains bread, butter, cheese, and plums. I butter a piece of bread hungrily. Passing us, Caden kicks death onto my food right before I put it to my mouth. The other fairies laugh. I look up to see him watching me with cruel delight, like a wrapped up bird trying to decide whether to be bothered, devouring a small mouse. He's wearing a high-collared tunic embroidered with horns. His fingers heavy with rings, his sneer is well practiced. I grit my teeth. I tell myself that if I let the taunts roll off me, he will lose interest. He will go away. I can endure this a little longer, a few more days. Something the matter? Nicasia asks sweetly, wandering up and dripping her arm around Caden's shoulders. Death is what you came from, mortal, it's what you will return to soon enough. Take a big bite. Make me, I say, before I can stop myself. Not the greatest comeback, but my palms begin to sweat. Tyrion looks startled. I could, says Caden, grin as though nothing would please him more. My heart speeds. When I was wearing a string of round berries, he could ensorcel me, so that I thought that death was some kind of delicacy. Only Maddox position would give him reason to hesitate. I did not move, did not touch the necklace hidden under the bodies of my tunic. The one that I hope will stop any glamour from working. The one I hope it doesn't discover and rip my throat. I glanced in the direction of the day's lecturer. But the elderly poker has his nose buried in a book. But the elderly fucker has his nose buried in a book. Since Cardan's a prince, it's more likely than no. It's more than likely no one has ever cautioned him. Has never stayed his hand. I never know how far we'll go, and I never know how far our instructors will let him. You don't want that, do you? Valorant asked with mock sympathy as he kicks more dirt onto our lunch. I didn't even see him come over. Where is all this dirt? Why are you guys sitting on sand? Shouldn't this be like a garden or something? Shouldn't there be grass? How is there grass? If the grass is growing in the garden, where's the dirt coming from? Valorant stole a silver pen of mine, and Maddox replaced it with a ruby solid one from his own desk. This threw Valorant into such a rage that he cracked me in the back of my head with his wooden practice sword. What if we promise to be nice to you for the whole afternoon if you eat everything in your basket? His smile is wild and forced. Don't you want us for friends? Tyrion looks down at the lap. No, I want to say we don't want you for friends. I don't answer, but I don't look down either. I meet Cardan's gaze. There's nothing I can say to make them stop, and I know it. I have the power here. But today I can't seem to choke down my anger at my own impotence. Nicasia pulls a pin from my ear, causing one of my braids to fall against my neck. I swat at her hands, but it happens too fast. What's this? She's opened up the golden pin with a tiny cluster of filigree, hot and berries at the top. Did you steal it? Did you think it would make you beautiful? Did you think it would make you as we are? I bite the inside of my cheek. Of course I want to be like them. They're as beautiful as blades forged in some divine fire. They will live forever. Valorant hair. That can't be true. How would they live forever? Well, every animal must die. I mean, if you're giving birth and every fairy is giving birth and they're living forever, at some point, there will just be overpopulation. You can't live forever. They will live forever. Valorant's hair shines like polished gold. Nicasia's limbs are long and perfectly shaped. Her mouth the pink of coral. What is the obsession with people's mouth and pinkness? Her hair is the color of the deepest, coldest part of the sea. Her hair is the color of the deepest, coldest. It's black? What does the deepest, coldest part of the sea look like? What does that even mean? Foxside lock. If you're in water, if it's water, okay, makes no sense. Foxside lock standing silently behind Valorant. His expression is schooled to careful indifference. Has a chin as pointed as the tip of his ears, and Cat is even more beautiful than the rest, with black hair as iridescent as a raven's wing, and cheekbones sharp enough to cut out of a girl's heart. I hate him more than all the others. I hate him so much that sometimes when I look at him, I can hardly breathe. You'll never be our equal, Nicasia says. Of course I won't. Oh, come on now, Locke says with a careless laugh, his hand going around Nicasia's waist. Let's leave them to their misery. Jude's sorry, Tyrion says quickly. We're both really sorry. She can show us how sorry she is. Cardan draws. Tell her she doesn't belong in the summer tournament. Afraid I will, I ask, which isn't smart. It's not for mortals, informs us. Her voice icily. We draw or wish that you had. I'll open my mouth. Tyrion speaks before I can. I'll talk to her about it. It's nothing, just a game. Nicasia gives my sister a magnanimous smile. Valerian lays at Tyrion, his eyes lingering on her curves. It's all just a game. Cardan's gaze meets mine, and I know he isn't finished with me. Not by a long shot. Why did you dare them like that? Tyrion asked. When they've walked back to their own merry luncheon, all spread out for them. Talking back to him, that's just stupid. Make me. Afraid I'll win? I know, I tell her. I'll shut up. I just got angry. You're better off being scared, she advises. And then shaking her head, she packs up her ruined food. Just dust the food off it. Just dust the dirt off it. 5-second rule. My stomach growls and I try to ignore it. They want me to be they want me to be afraid, I know that. During the during the mock battle that very afternoon, Valiant trips me, Kadan whispers foul things in my ear. I head on with bruises on my skin from kicks from falls. Yo, this is some childish ass bullying right there. Physical abuse to you. Just punch them in the face. What I don't realize is this: yes, they're fighting me, but I've always been scared since the day I got here. I was raised by the man who murdered my parents, bred in a land of monsters. I live with that fear. As it settled into my bones and ignore it. If I didn't pretend not to be scared, I would hide under owl, my owl down coverlet in Maddox estate forever. I would lie there and scream until there was nothing left of me. I refuse to do that. I will not do that. The cage is wrong about me. I don't desire to do as well as Thomas as one of them, as one of the face. I want to win. I do not yearn to be their equal. In my heart, I yearn to best them. And that's the end of chapter 5. Sorry, chapter 4. If you guys liked or enjoyed my reading, my narration of this bedtime story, please like, share, and subscribe. It really does help with the algorithm. And thank you for watching. Alright, man. Peace.